Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It is Tuesday the 13th of October. We have got new mods and we have got a few updates. The updates today are as follows. From top left, the TFSIM semi-trailer by Phx978 has had an update. That's been to do with harvesters not emptying into it and some clipping collisions. That's been fixed. The John Deere 6200 plus headers by Kohler, the Lizard ADT 10 by Stefan Modding, the Flashlight by ADub Modding, and it does say PGR Slurno by Phx 12 Mirio. That popped up a couple of times over the last week or so, and a couple of people commented to say the changelog didn't say anything new. It's saying it's updated again today. Whether it has or not, I'm not too sure, but it is saying it has had an update. Those have all been updated today. Okay, so first of the mods we have got in front of us. This is the multi-transporter. This is by WhiteBull Modding, and it will use 5 slots on console. It's an IT runner back flatbed loader. It does say required mods is the Giants IT runner, but any of the IT runner hook lift container lorries, backs, trailers will work with this. There are a couple of configurations. I've got this in extension mode. You can have it narrow. We'll have a look at that as an option in a moment. It does have straps. The only problem is I have just checked it for stickiness of the deck, and unfortunately it's still a vehicle on there still slides about. There are mods about, and there are various different tension belt mods which will allow, if you've got attachments and front loaders and various different things like that on, the straps will go over them. There was also that mod by Black Sheep Modding that had the little trailer and the attachments that went on top to allow straps to go over the vehicles. So realistically there are ways around it, but as far as actually strapping something directly down to it, it won't allow you to do that. But that's, it's just a minor thing. If you get the extension one, you do get these sideboards, warning boards on the side, as it says there, multi-transporter. This you will find under tools, under, I think this was under miscellaneous actually. I thought it would be under low loaders, but I'm sure it was miscellaneous. There we go, multi-transporter, 9,000 to buy. Options available, we can have it standard or extension. That's it, there's no colour options, no choices other than that. Those are the two options we can have. Standard configuration. Now with straps on as well, you can put pallets on it, you can put bags and various different things on if you want to. But that's it for options. What we'll do, let's just jump into the hook lift. It does have a smooth animation going on and off. I've had no problems with it sticking. I've tried a couple of times just checking it just to make sure it hasn't caught on the ground or anything like that. I drove it around a little bit too and I haven't noticed any movement. It doesn't seem to want to slide or move once it's in place. Although, because I am using a lorry to be fair, but if you use the trailers, they're all fairly high in IT runner. So if you get something fairly top heavy, you're still going to need to be careful, it may topple. That wouldn't necessarily be the fault of the trailer, but just down to the fact you're going too fast for cornering. But as it stands at the moment, that's not too bad. What I will do though, I think, I'll grab the JCB just to show you what I mean. So we'll unload it. I'll go and grab the JCB. I'm going to leave the help window open all the way through. Normally I knock that on and off. But as I'm away on holiday with my lovely wife on our anniversary holiday, I haven't got my side panel with me, so it means going in and out of the menu, which then adds up to extra editing and that kind of stuff. It just made more sense if I leave it open. I am trying to work out a way next time we come away of bringing my side panel, but unfortunately at the moment I haven't got it, so I will leave that open. Right, what we'll do, put that back up. Now putting it on and off isn't too bad, the tractor hasn't moved. But as you can see, actually it was alright. Yeah, there's a little bit of wobble there, because now there's a tractor on the top, it's a little bit heavy. If I suddenly stop, the vehicle still rolls. So you are going to need something to strap it down, whether it be the vehicle has an attachment or a front loader or something on it, on the 3-point link that will strap down as part of the tension belt pack, or you go, and I can't for the life of me think what the other one was called now. Oh, I want to say OSB or OST something, but I think I'm completely off on that. What we will do though is put that down, see if it rolls. Hopefully not. So yeah, but it's worth bearing in mind. You might need to do a little something with it. So that's the multi-transporter by WhiteBull Modding. Moving on from there, I'll grab the JCB because we'll do the next one, which is over here. This is the Phx Pack. This is by, well, it's M8E, so matey. And this is a Plow Pack. There are 4 in this pack. Really nicely detailed ploughs. This is the largest one. I think it's a 3.7 metre. Oddly as well, the 3 smaller ones are 11 slots each, and this, the larger one, is only 9. I'm not quite sure why the larger of the 3 is 2 slots less, but anyway, that's what it says in the Modhub. But like I say, really nicely detailed. That looks like a gas bottle on the top of there. It's very odd. I'm not sure. That changes, well, I said that changes colour. You can change colour in the options. So, this you'll find under Tools, under Ploughs. So as you can see, on the far right, we've got the PHX 4, 1.8 metre, 11 slots, 8,000 to buy. Requires 70 horsepower. The PHX 5 is 2.2 metres, 11 slots, requires 90 horsepower, 10 grand to buy. The PHX 6 is 11 slots, 2.7 metres, 12,000 to buy, requires 110 horsepower. Then the one I've got is the PHX 8, 3.7 metres, that's only 9 slots, requires 150 horsepower, and will cost 16,000. Options available. We can change the main colour to anything on that palette, like so, for example. Design colour changes that bottle roller object. Like I say, it looks like a small gas bottle, but changes that, like so. And then on the back, we can change the wheel setup to have 2 tyres, like so. Or you can have 1 metal, so 1 metal, 1 tyre, like so. Those are the options. We'll jump in, hook up. So at present we are in transport mode, so the wheels are facing a certain direction, keeps it as narrow as it possibly can. If I do L1 and then X unfold plough, it changes the angle adjustment of the wheel, so as we move forward it swings the whole thing out into its operating position at 3.7 metres for this one specifically. If I lower it down, and away we go with our ploughing. Now, as you can see, each individual board furrow, well, it's creating a furrow, is actually moving independently with those little suspension arms, pistons. They're moving in and out. It's amazing. It's one of the best animations I've come across on a plough. It's almost like when they hit a bump or something a bit more solid, you get a little bit of movement on them individually as they're moving around. But I really like that. That's pretty cool. You can create fields as well, so if you want to create your own field using your plough, L1 and triangle allow create fields, drop it down, and we are creating our own field. But to be fair, when you think of the price of some of the ploughs and the horsepower requirements for 3.7 metre at 16 grand, it's not overly expensive, it's not too bad, slot count's not horrendous, and for the animation on there, which again, like I say, I really like that. Let's put that back into folded position for transport. So there we go. That's the Phx Pack by M8E Matey. Oh, before I finish on that one, that will not allow a hired worker. So if you want to hire a worker to do a field, it won't allow you to have helpers. So you have to do the ploughing yourself with that. That could be another thing that will put people off, because people, especially with ploughing, if they find it monotonous, will happily just hire a worker and off it goes. It won't allow a helper on that one, unfortunately. Right, moving on from there, let's go directly across here. We have got the Super Cube by 4D Modding. We've had quite a few from 4D Modding recently. I always get the baler company wrong. Browen and Bailey, there's a few that 4D modding does. But anyway, this is the Super Cube. Nice size, not bad slot count. This is 15 on the slots. I think it goes up to 30. What did I get? 33,000 litre? Something along those lines. But as is always the case with 4D modding mods, some really nice. Oh, there you go, 33,850. Because I went for the extra easy way on there, so I can see at a glance what I've got in it. Lighting all around. Like I said, I've got the silage extensions on this. We do have options to have colour configurations on the rims on the main body, and then this section here on the rear door and the top section will be whatever colour choice you choose. But we'll have a look at those in a second too. Nice looking mod. This you'll find under tools, under trailers. There we go, Super Cube. 24,500, I think it's for the base model. It takes pretty much everything, even with the silage extensions. As I've said before with some of these mods, you have a standard option then a silage option. And on some mods, the silage option will only allow you to do forage crops. This, with the silage boards on, will allow you still to put every crop in. I just checked it under the buy anything silo just to make certain. So we can change the rim colour to anything on that palette, and there's loads to choose from on here. We've got mats and candies, and yeah, there's the burnt orange, which is quite nice, and sort of metallic-y versions of various different ones. So loads of options to choose from. On the main colour, we've got a load of options as well. What I do like at the moment is the Unimog. I do like the Unimog's colours, they're quite nice. Not for everyone, but... So, loads of options to choose from on your main colour. And then design colour, as I say, is the back section. Let's just swing around first. So the back section like that. If I change the design colour to, let's go red, so it stands out, like so. And then if we go from grain trailer, which at the moment is 28,000 litres, and we go for the silage extension, you can see the silage extension is the same colour as the design colour, so that will match up with that. That takes up to 33,850 for an extra 2,850 on the price. Then we've got our options on tyres. We've got Lizard, Michelin, Nokian and Trelleborg. Under Lizards we've got the FL648 655s. We've got road wheels, we've got Ride Max 560 R22s, SHA2 560 R26s, FL634 60 70 R24s, XS 525 65 R. There's loads of tyre options on this. I think, let me go back to the standard. I think that's what we started with, the 648s, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what we started with. Back to Michelin's Cargo X Bib 655s, Cargo X Bib HFs, and I think we go back then to the 655s. Yeah, so only two options on our Michelin's. Nokians are standard TR12s, then Trelleborg Twin Radial 655s, Twin Forestries, and then again back to the Twin Radial 655. So most of the options are with the Lizards, but there are a whole load to choose from. Then design, we've got standard in this configuration. We can have it with a toolbox just under there. We can have it with a brake, which puts a brake underneath. There's a lever under there that comes or goes. Then we can have the easy way, which is what I went for on there, which gives you an external view of whatever you've got in it. Then you can have a mixture of toolbox and brake, easy way and brake, easy way and toolbox, or all of them if you want to, for an extra 3,150. And then the registration plates, if you've seen any of the mod reviews, any of the stuff from 4D modding, there are loads. They'll go through loads of Irish registration plates, and then there's some American ones. There'll be the UK one. There are loads. I would suggest if you do want a number plate, scroll through and find the one you want. I know a lot of people don't like them because if they want to go for a more authentic's the wrong word, but I think some people feel when it's got a number plate on there that you can't remove, that fixes it to a location, and some people don't like that. So it's nice having the option not to have a registration number if you don't want one. As far as keep doing that unloading goes, we do have the option of tip side back or tip side grain door, L1, R1 and triangle. Nice smooth animation. Lights on the back, indicators, low and high on the back. As we go through our lights, we do have lights on the back as well. Very nice indeed. There we go. That's the Lizard, well, Lizard, yeah, Supercube by 4D modding. Moving on from there, we have got this, and we've had one of these recently. I think we might have had this slightly larger one. This threw me a little bit when I first saw it, I'll be honest. This is the Maximus 12,000 TH. This is by Connect modding. This will either do lime, fertiliser or manure, one of each of those. It's only a 6,000 litre capacity, which is weird because it's called the maximum 12,000, which threw me. I thought, 12,000 litre. It's not. It's a 6,000 litre, but it will do all three. Obviously not at the same time. But the only downside I have found, you can't unload it, which is a bit of a pain. So whilst you can do all three, if you've got it full of fertiliser and you go and do a couple of fills and decide you want to go and do some liming, you can't empty it. So the only way of doing that then would be to reset it, which means you then lose whatever you've got in it to put the next thing in, which is I'm surprised that's still a thing. I thought a couple of these had updates to avoid that. There's nothing coming up to unload it at all, which is a pity because it looks really nice. It's a nice looking mod. Like I say, I'm sure we had I can't remember if it was a smaller or the larger one of these recently. Now weirdly as well, on the website Modhub it says it spreads out to 24 metres. Here in the game Modhub it says 18. I've tested it and I'm pretty sure it's 18. I'm fairly sure it's 18. It doesn't look like 24 metres. So I've got lime in it at the moment. And I'll show you already, I've done one pass with manure, one pass with fertiliser, and they're exactly the same width. So what I'll do as best I can is try and line up in the middle on here. Turn it on. Great animation. Said before with these, the powder effect and dust and stuff coming off it is a great animation. Looks really nice. But like I say, it's just a bit of the fact you can't unload it. It seems each of the mods so far today, apart from the 4D modding trailer, has had a look, this is really great, but there's been a drawback with each one. There's been something that may cause people not to want to necessarily install it. Has got rear steer on the axles, as you can see, which gives it a nice tight turning radius. This you will find under fertiliser technology, under tools, under fertiliser technology. There we go, the Maximus 12,000 TH, 13,554. It will use 8 slots, so not too high in the slot count, requires 110 horsepower. It does say there 18 metres, and it will do all three of those, and it will run at 12 miles per hour. So there we go, that's the Maximus 12,000 TH by Connect Modding. Next we've got this rather peculiar looking thing. This is a fertiliser and or lime spreader. This is the Lizard Distribuidor Nevoeiro. MrSealyp is laughing next to me at my awful pronunciation. Anyway, this is made by JV3D and Agro Tonho. It's the 10,000. It's the 10,010. But the odd thing, when I saw it in the Modhub, I thought, oh, okay, that's quite wide. That's a big chunky bit of kit. I assume this will get pulled from the end and the wheels will turn. They don't. This is it. That's the width. So this is only going to be used on big maps. You're not going to get this down country lanes, anywhere with hedges, fences, any kind of collisions like that. You certainly won't get that through most double gates, I wouldn't have thought, unless they're very wide. So it's an interesting one, something a bit different. You'll find this also under fertiliser technology, I think, wasn't it? There we go. The Nevoeiro 10,010, 35,000 to buy, 10,000 litre capacity. As I said, it will do lime or solid fertiliser. It's only 3 slots for the first one, 7.5 metres wide and requires 125 horsepower to pull it. It will run at 8 miles per hour, so it's a little bit slower than some of the other fertiliser spreaders we've got available. Actually quite a bit slower, I suppose, 8 miles an hour compared to 12 for most of the others. But anyway, let's hook it up. Now when you back up and you get the symbol come up, that's where you want to be, because the actual attachment bit folds down like so. If you get too close it kind of catches and the whole thing bounces around a little bit. So what we'll do is edge forward, turn on fertiliser, and away we go. Let's say I suppose the only downside to it is it's a little bit slow. It doesn't spread out as far as some other ones do, but it is something a bit different. Something I haven't really come across one like this that drops out of the bottom and is so wide that it doesn't kind of fold up or have the ability to transport it in a different way. So this is going to be designed more for your larger maps with loads of open space where moving vehicles around isn't too much of a problem. So there you go. That's the Lizard Distribuidor Nevoeiro by JV3D Agro Tonho. Which has put me off now. Now I'm really conscious of everything I'm saying. So, let's turn that off. Which I think brings me on to the last of the mods for today. Yeah, it is. So last up, we've got these. This is the wheeled. I know we have got a wheeled Challenger, the articulated one. But this is the Challenger MT600D series. This is by NEFG modding. These will use 35 slots. They are also compatible with the Demco side pack by custom modding. So those side tanks that go on to some of the John Deeres, there are a few different ones. This is compatible with those. Nice looking mod. A few different tyre options. In the Modhub it said something along the lines of with infinite tyre choices. There aren't infinite tyre choices. There are a limited amount of tyre choices. But there are a few. And it does look nice. It's a nice looking tractor. There aren't any options on colour or anything like that. It's Challenger. It's the Challenger colour. That's what you're getting. But I suppose your mind's saying, that's weird. It's not a track Challenger. But like I say, we do have wheeled Challengers already. Very tidy. Does seem to have a slightly wider axle, but I could be imagining that. I think it's because it starts with a row crop option, whereas I think that one, the Trelleborg, isn't. So that's probably why the initial one comes like that, which is wider anyway because of the row crops. That's a more standard axle width with the Trelleborg tyre option on it. This you'll find under large tractors, I think it was. So yeah, the point I was making was we have got the Challenger MT700 and we've got the 800. The 900 is the one that has got wheels, but it's the larger articulated one. But because Challenger is part of Agro, which has Fendt and Massey under its wing, as well as, I want to say Valtra. I know one of them, there's another big company that comes under the Agro banner. So there it is, the MT600D. Like I say, 35 slots. So we start off with standard configuration, and the wheel brand right off the bat is a row crop option, which gives you a slightly wider axle. But we can have standard. We can have with a 226 kilogram weight, 408 kilogram weight, 589, 771, and then back to standard again. There's no 3-point link on the front of that at all. Then wheel brands, we've got row crop, Trelleborg, and Lizard. Those are the three. So we go back to row crop. We start off with the row crop standard. Then we've got row crop with weight, row crop with 2 weights, row crop rear dual with weight, with double weight, and then back to our standard row crop again. So that's under the row crop option. That's rather cool. I like that. Then we go to our next one along, which is the Trelleborg option, which brings the axles in a little bit more of a standard tyre configuration. I say standard, depends where in the world you are. I suppose what we're more used to seeing as the start off option. There are loads of options available. Standard, wheel weights, wides, wide and weights, twins, rear twins, and then back to standard again. Then if we go to the last one, which is the lizard option, we've got row crop and weight. We go through a few of the same ones on this one to start off with. Rear jewels, weight, double weight. Hang on a minute, I thought one of these had the option for twin row crops. I'm sure I didn't imagine that. How did I miss that? Row crop dual weights. Missed that completely. Under the row crop option, when I got to the rear jewels, we got row crop jewels with weights, double weights, and the back end. So there was a double option. I thought there was somewhere. I'm going mad. Then we got the option for no fenders, front fender, and these are wide fenders as well. And then you can go for a wide front fender, which takes out even more. And then you can have rear wide fenders front and rear. So if you do go for those doubles options or the wider single options, we've got some rather large fender choices on there. And then back to no fenders. Then engine setup, we've got the 645D at 240 horsepower, the 655D at 265 horsepower, the 665 at 290 horsepower, the 675 at 320, the 685 at 340, and then back again to the 645. So the highest this will go up to is a 685 at 340 horsepower. Then cover, none. Now this is around the back. So this is the lighting options or the hazard markings. So you have none like that, so it stands on the back. If we go to US, it puts the light stalks on the back above the rear arches. Then we go for the EU spec, which gives you the hazard box squares on the back. Then back to none. And then GPS on top, we can have none, or we can have the ag leader on the top. But for no extra cost, you can just have the ag leader box on there if you want a GPS box on the roof. Those are the options. So quite a few. Yes, I must say I went for the jewels on this one. So we'll jump in this one, start it up. On. Lights, cycle through, rear work lights, front work lights, and off again. Beacons on the top. Indicators, because you've got the stalks on there on the US version. Nice and bright. If I do L1 and side on the D-pad close cover, that brings those light stalks in. So depending on the width of tyre choices you go for, you can extend them out if you want to. There are no door or window options on this one. Engine sounds great. Skip that, that's quite good. From in-cab, nice, neat and tidy. Turn the engine off, engine on. Go through our lighting options. There's not one I can see for beacons anywhere. Indicators at the front. But yeah. Not a bad mod, that. Not bad at all. Again, it's nice to have something a bit different. And that's it. That's the Challenger MT600D series by NEFG Modding. That's the mods for today. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.